As I walked out to get my mail and was met by 3 cops, 4 marshals, and an FBI agent. They just came in, showed me a picture of him in the store. They just said, is this your son? I said, yeah.
Our story begins in Independence, Missouri. In the evening hours of October 16, 2016, the Independence Communications Center receives multiple 911 calls regarding a shooting between 2 motorists. Dispatch informs officers of a woman who had been shot and was in distress near the intersection of Winter Road and Sterling Avenue. The officers arrive at a scene of absolute chaos. A woman is lying on the ground next to her vehicle covered in blood, and a girl, the woman's niece, is crying out for help. Inside the minivan is a young child and an infant. Officers removed the woman's niece and children from the area so they would not have to witness what was unfolding. As they provide medical aid to the victim, witnesses surround the scene, informing officers that the shooter fled north on Sterling Avenue in a large white vehicle. Paramedics arrive and perform life-saving measures. However, the gunshot wound the woman sustained proved to be fatal. The woman's niece identifies her as 22-year-old Whitney Gray. After securing the scene, police collect statements from witnesses.
We got multiple witnesses on scene here. I only heard 1 gunshot. She was a driver. He cut her off or something, and then I heard the shot. I was behind him, and then I seen him speed off, and then I just pulled over. He was in a white truck or a white SUV.
Witnesses described someone in a large white vehicle opening fire on Whitney's minivan and driving away. Officers called detectives to the scene. Detective Steve Brashears said Whitney was shot in the middle of her chest. He said it was a bullseye, right in the middle. Detective Brian Draveling said Whitney's car was on the side of the road, partially in someone's front yard. There was a bullet hole in the windshield, and down the road, investigators recovered a casing. The shooting occurred roughly a quarter-mile south of where Whitney's vehicle stopped. Following the shooting, the minivan traveled across a set of railroad tracks and came to rest in the front yard of a home. Whitney's brother, Dylan Gray, received a call from his niece, the same niece who was involved in the incident. She was screaming, "She's been shot, she's been shot." When he arrived at the scene, there were people everywhere, ambulances, police, and babies crying. Dylan instinctively tried to get to his sister, but the police stopped him. He then went to comfort his niece and Whitney's children. Dylan said that putting on a straight face and telling the kids everything was going to be alright was one of the hardest things he ever did. Dylan then called his and Whitney's father, Sean Gray. Dylan said that he could hear his father break into pieces. Sean said that everything went numb. His wife and Whitney's stepmother, Connie, said she felt sick and wondered how Whitney's boys would react. Dylan said that Whitney was the glue that held their family together. 22-year-old Whitney Gray is a mother of 2 young kids. Friends and family describe her as a fun-loving mom who loved to throw elaborate holiday parties. She enjoyed playing with and caring for her kids. Back at the scene, detectives and officers knock on doors, asking if anybody has surveillance cameras on their homes. They found a house north of the incident with working cameras. Detective Todd Winborn searched through the footage from a few minutes before the 911 calls at 7:38 p.m. On the right side of the screen, Whitney's minivan comes to a stop on the side of the road after the shooting had occurred. They rewind the footage to a few seconds earlier. Based on witness statements, the suspect vehicle, a large white truck or SUV, would have been in front of the victim's car. As they play the footage, a large white SUV drives through the same area as Whitney's vehicle is coming to a stop. Detectives got their first glimpse of the suspect vehicle. However, the license plate was not visible. The footage is brought back to the station for further analysis. In the meantime, investigators sit down with Whitney's niece to get her recollection of what happened.
When your mom and dad get in here, we'll talk, okay? Can I get you anything? You do water or anything?
Water would be great.
Water would be great? Okay, hold on 1 second, so I grab one.
This is Detective Schmidt.
We'll talk here in just a second. Why don't you grab one of the chairs right there?
Mom and Dad. Mom.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hey, can I get your information real quick? I just need to write a report real quick that I brought you up here. You're 16?
Yeah.
And your birthday?
Guys, I'm sorry we're here on this. And my understanding is our victim is your sister, and I apologize for that, okay? We are going to work very hard, and we will find out who did this, okay? Again, I'm Detective Schmedley, and I kind of got thrown into this. Actually, I was doing something else when they called. So, and I apologize. What was your sister's name?
Whitney
Whitney?
Gray.
Spell Whitney for me.
Whitney.
Her last name Gray.
Gray.
You were with Whitney, and that's your aunt, correct? Okay. And you were in her minivan. What were you guys doing this evening? Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me where you guys had been or where you were coming from, okay?
We were coming from Price Chopper.
Price Chopper there at 23rd and Sterling?
Yeah.
So you just left Price Chopper? Who is with you and Whitney?
Just the two boys.
Okay, two boys. Who are they?
And 3-year-old and 8-month-old.
How are they related to,
They're Whitney's children.
okay, they're Whitney's boys.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so it's just you four, correct? Okay. Whitney's driving the minivan, correct? You're in the front passenger seat?
Yeah.
Okay. Boys are in the back? Okay. Okay, so you just left Price Chopper. You get out onto Sterling there, okay, and you're going north, okay? Okay. When you pull out of the lot, any issues with anyone?
No.
Okay. You pull out, you're going north. What happens?
Some guy starts getting real close to the car, so she gets mad. She brake checks him a little bit.
Okay, so Whitney brake checks him because he's getting too close. And when you say getting too close, he's tailgating you at that point. Did he come right up on you, or was he there? Did you guys?
She noticed it. I didn't.
Okay, so
I
you
turned
didn't
around
even
and
notice it at that point. Okay. Did she tell you someone was tailgating her, or did she make a comment?
Yeah.
What was her comment?
Someone's riding my ass.
And at that point, did you look back? Did you see who was?
I turned around. Right.
Okay. What could you tell? What type of vehicle it was?
I just saw it was white. I don't
White.
know. Could have been an SUV or a truck.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that here in just a second. Okay. So it's tailgating you. You look back, see it's white, and your aunt had told you someone's riding my ass. Okay. You're still driving northbound from 23rd Street from the Price Chopper there. What happens? I mean.
We get up to a light.
Okay.
And he comes around and he's like parallel to us.
Okay, so he's side by side. Okay, and I think that intersection we're talking about is there at Winter and Sterling. Okay, so do you come to a stop at the light?
Yeah.
And he pulls alongside you. Okay, and so he's on your passenger side.
Yeah.
What goes on at that point? Was there any words exchanged?
She yelled, "I have kids in the car," and he leaned his head out and said, "I don't give a f."
Okay, hang on one second. Okay, so you're in the front passenger seat. She's driving. Okay, so your window goes, did she roll it down or was it already down?
It was already down.
Okay, so window's down, and she said, "I have kids in the car." The driver of this white vehicle said, what?
I don't give a f.
What happened from there?
She told me to throw the drink at him and we pulled away.
Okay, so Whitney told you to throw a drink at him? So what'd you throw at him?
Water.
Was it a cup of water? And so you threw the water at him. Did it hit the truck?
Yeah.
I don't want to say truck. Hit the white vehicle. Okay, we'll get to that here in just a second. What happened then? What do you recall?
He started swerving over in front of us, and I don't remember anything else.
Recall hearing anything? I
I mean,
mean,
it was just loud, and that's it. Like,
when you
it
say
was
loud, what do you mean loud?
Like a bang, like a gunshot.
Okay, so you heard a bang. When you heard this bang, you think it was a gunshot. What happened in the car? I mean, what's?
She couldn't drive, and we were swerving, so I had to sit on her lap and drive and park the car.
Did she tell you what happened?
She just kept saying she's been shot.
Okay. Did you see blood on her? I mean, where was she bleeding from?
Her chest.
The chest. So you physically got in the driver's seat. She's still sitting in the driver's seat, and you're trying to maneuver the vehicle and get it to stop.
Yeah.
As he was pulled up alongside of you, I say it's a he. Did you see the driver of the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay. Describe him to me.
He was white.
A white male?
Yeah.
Okay. Younger, older?
Early 20s.
Early 20s, so like 20 to 25? Okay.
He was kind of skinny.
Looked like he had a skinny build?
Yeah, he had blue eyes.
And why do you say blue eyes?
Because I saw him.
Okay. They stood out to you? That's one thing you noticed. Anything else? What about hair color?
He had a hat on.
Had a hat? What did his hat look like? Like a baseball cap?
Kind of like a fedora.
A fedora? So it was like one of the hats that has a brim all the way around it.
Gopher's hat.
What color was it? Okay, that's fine. Do you recall seeing any hair coming out from underneath the fedora?
No.
What about facial features? Mustache, beard,
he had a little
goatee?
bit of scruff like he just shaved.
Okay, so unshaven? So when you were side by side and Whitney had screamed at him, did he lean out the window or anything?
He
And
leaned his head out.
leaned his head out. Okay. Know about what was he wearing a shirt or anything?
I didn't
Don't recall, but a fedora, like a fedora hat. Okay. Skinny build, blue eyes, unshaven, a white male, 20 to 25. Okay. Let me ask you this. If you saw him again, could you identify him, do you think?
Yeah.
Had you ever seen this person before? So this was just a random act then. Never met him before. Never met you didn't have any issues with anyone inside the price chopper or anything. Describe the vehicle that he was driving. You said it was white. You know, when you pulled up, what did you think it was? I mean, do you recall?
I don't know. It could have been an SUV. Yeah.
Okay. Was it as big as the minivan? I mean...
Yeah, pretty even.
Okay, so it wasn't a passenger car then. So you think it was possibly an SUV, maybe a truck?
Yeah.
Anything about that vehicle that stands out to you, that you can think of? Was it dirty? Was there damage to the truck? Anything, anything on the side of the truck?
Was it newer? Was it older?
Newer, older, anything? And that's fine. You had a lot going on, and like I said, but that's probably the best description we've had so far of what this guy looks like. Anything else you can think of about the guy? Did you ever see the gun or anything? Never saw the gun? You didn't stick it out a window or anything like that?
I wasn't even looking when he
Right.
shot.
You wasn't looking when he shot.
Where did he shoot from? What angle was he at? Is he beside you, in front of you?
Kind of in front. He was like swerving over into my...
He like swerved over, shot back.
Yeah, I think my understanding is, from what our witness is saying, was that they were side by side. You guys were in the turn lane as if you were going to go west on Winter, and he was in the center lane. And as soon as the light turned, he started to go. As soon as he moved forward, I think that's when the shot came. So I mean, he had just started forward and fired the shot, because I think it came through the front passenger window, and it must have hit Whitney from there. Anything else you can think of that I need to know about? Okay. Again, I'm sorry about everything I was
Are there cameras at the intersection?
We're going to check on everything.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, I doubt that there's cameras at the intersection. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not some surveillance at a business or something.
Right there at the
Quick
doctor's
Trip,
office.
Yeah,
I
and
know.
that's one of the things we'll check out. We're
The
going to
flower
look.
shop I know has it.
Yeah, we're going to check everything. But like I said, we'll get them. Okay, just have patience. So we got a lot of detectives working on it right now.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. This is.
Of a road rage, pretty much is what it was.
Yep, I agree. Okay, we'll let you get out of here. That way, if you want to take her home or anything, okay?
Yes, I do.
I appreciate you bringing her up. Again, I'm sorry for everything. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call up here, okay? We're going to go right.
To ensure that this incident did not stem from an interaction at the Price Chopper, Detective Draveling takes a look at the grocery store surveillance. Whitney Gray, her 2 children, and her niece enter the store. The detective follows them around the store, looking for any unusual interactions they may have had with a possible suspect. The group did not have any arguments or anything else inside the store that would have prompted this homicide to occur. Detectives moved to the exterior cameras. Whitney's niece had brought the minivan to the front of the store. With her 3-year-old already in the car, Whitney handed the groceries to her niece in the front passenger seat, then strapped her 8-month-old in the car seat. Detectives follow the minivan through the parking lot. As Whitney exited the lot and entered the street, she pulled in front of a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed. You can see the front of the SUV dropping as the driver brakes to avoid hitting Whitney's vehicle. Here is the clip again, but with both vehicles highlighted. The vehicles quickly move out of frame, so detectives look for businesses with cameras in the direction of travel. Detective Winborn identified the Taco Bell diagonally across the intersection as having cameras. Although the footage provided a better look at the suspect vehicle, it did not yield any distinguishable marks, such as a license plate, decals, or broken lights. Early the following day, the detectives had a briefing. After scouring photos of large white SUVs to compare to the suspect vehicle, Detective Draveling identified the vehicle as an early 2000s Toyota Sequoia. As a group of investigators focused on Department of Motor Vehicle records, another team backtracked the suspect's movements. They checked several grocery stores, residences, and apartment buildings on Sterling Avenue south of the Price Chopper. Unfortunately, all of the footage they retrieved was of cameras facing the wrong direction or low-quality video, making vehicle identification impossible. After coming up short, they expand their search further south, just over 2 miles. The next place to check was the Quick Trip gas station and convenience store. From working on previous cases, they know the store has cutting-edge surveillance. The detectives must move quickly as the Quick Trip was set for demolition the next day. They queued up the footage to 10 minutes before the shooting. Detective Draveling immediately spots a white SUV pulling into the Quick Trip parking lot. As the vehicle got closer and the detail increased, he determined it was an early 2000s white Toyota Sequoia. The vehicle parked at the front of the store, almost directly in front of a camera. A white male exits the vehicle. He is wearing a flat cap or golfer's hat, just like Whitney's niece described. Detectives follow the man on the footage as he enters the store, hoping to get a better picture of the suspect. The man walks towards the refrigerated section. The store is up for demolition the next day. Many of the shelves are empty as they liquidate merchandise. The man's demeanor changes after he looks through the glass cooler door, evidently not finding what he is there for. He does not select anything and leaves the store empty-handed. As he exits, detectives get their best look yet at the suspect. The man's build and clothing were consistent with Whitney's niece's description. He is a white male with minimal facial hair, a skinny build, and a golfer's hat. From the video, they can tell the man is upset. He stormed out of the store. Based on the video's timestamp, this was just minutes before he encountered Whitney Gray at the intersection of 23rd and Sterling. Detectives send screenshots of the suspect and his vehicle to the station. They watch as the man enters his vehicle, exits the parking lot, and heads north on Sterling towards the area of the Price Chopper. Investigators ran the license plate, and it came back to an apartment in Independence, Missouri, and to a person named James Taylor. Police set up surveillance outside the man's apartment. As the subject exits the apartment, police can tell that the man is not the suspect, but approach him carefully anyway. As the detectives speak with James Taylor, he informs them that they are probably looking for his son, Chris Taylor. James voluntarily agrees to come to the station to speak with Detective Brashears and Dravling.
And he went to Lee Summit High School.
Uh-huh.
Did he have any hangouts down there that he liked to go to?
No, he used to like to go to a bar out in Lee Summit. He didn't drink, but they had open mic, and he'd play guitar and sing.
Well, like I said, we're just trying to get your brain going different directions.
Yeah.
To think, stir something up.
Yeah.
Has he ever had any periods like this where he'll not answer the phone, or is this unusual?
He has had periods where he wouldn't answer the phone. Oh, God. Never in a million years would I have thought this. I just, like I asked earlier, hopefully he won't ever know that I'm the one that turned him in, or not turned him in, but gave up all this information.
He didn't come over to your apartment last night or this morning or anything?
No.
Does he have a key to your apartment?
Yes, he does. I forgot about that.
Do you think he'd go to your apartment?
I don't know why he would. I mean, that'd be pretty risky, wouldn't you think? Of course, you don't know. Apparently, he wasn't thinking straight anyway. I know he knows, or he probably thinks that he knows what I would do if I knew that, he had done this, that I would turn him in.
You think
I think he knows that. We knew that we needed to come here, and tell you guys our suspicions, but then, like I said, conflicting reports on TV. One on Facebook said the guy was tall, had a long beard and long hair. Well, then, immediately you go, oh, well, that's not Chris. Whew.
That was in the process of us filtering out all the reports that we were getting.
Right,
and
yeah.
so forth.
Yeah.
Let me see if I find a bottle of water for you or anything.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just hang tight and I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good. I'm Sergeant Hal.
That's him.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm. Hang on.
Where did you find him?
We haven't found him yet.
Oh, okay.
This is a surveillance video, but I wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay.
Give me just a second.
Oh, God. Hello? Hi. No, Becky, I'm at the police station. They came and got me. They came and got me. Questioning. As I walked out to get my mail and was met by 3 cops, 4 marshals, and an FBI agent. They just came in, showed me a picture of him in the store. Yeah. I don't know. They just said, is this your son? I said, yeah. And, I've told them everything I know. No sense hiding it. So, anyway, and they already knew where he lived. No, that's all right. I'll call you guys when I get home. I had a call from my ex-wife.
Yes, sir.
I went ahead and I answered it.
Sure.
I told her where I was.
Sure.
No sense lying about it, and told them that they were going to have being questioned. They're going to be questioned. They're not going to run. She's just like I am. They have nothing to hide, and they even know less than I do.
you're not under arrest or
Oh, I
anything.
know. I know.
You're here
My own
as
free
we
will.
view, trying to help us locate your
Yeah,
son.
exactly. Yeah, I know.
My sergeant showing you this.
Yeah, I know. That's my son. I forgot that he wore that type of a hat.
That's why I kind of asked you, would you be willing to initial this and say, this is my son, this is write out his name?
Hopefully I can do it without shaking too bad.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We'll be back in just a few minutes.
All right.
Our goal is we want to talk to Chris, and we want to get him here to talk to him safely. That's our goal. I know that's your goal.
Yes. But I'll tell you, don't give your life up for it. And I'm serious. You know, he knows he's got to know that you're looking for it.
Yes, sir.
You know, and whether or not he would just give up, I don't know.
Okay.
But
I appreciate your concern there. We're going to do everything to keep everybody safe.
I know you will.
That's our number one goal.
Yeah. And believe me, I hope that I'm coming across as someone that really appreciates you guys.
No, you are.
Yeah.
You've shown great amount of concern for us and everybody else just coming up here to talk to us. And we appreciate that greatly.
Well, you're welcome. You know, I wish it was under different circumstances, but, you know, I told him years ago, man, that you get yourself in jail, I won't get you out. You got your ass in there, you can get your ass out. You know, so he knew that he couldn't come to me.
Yes, sir.
You know, he can't go to his mom. And I'm being so honest with you guys. I keep thinking about that poor woman. Were the kids in the car, too? God. Why would he do that?
You'll probably never be able to answer that.
I know that.
You'll never know what was going through his mind, or I won't either.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I know.
Who
you know,
knows?
It's just.
There's a lot of unanswered questions for us and everybody right now. So
right.
That's what we're hoping to figure out. So
I was afraid of what I might find if I was able to go in that first time.
Sure.
I was afraid I'd find him dead because he's always been so remorseful about anything. You know, hurting a little animal.
Right.
You know. But people change.
Yeah. And you don't know what his state of mind was yesterday, or what was going on, or what wasn't going on. So,
yeah. I don't know, you know. If
are you going to be okay to get out of here?
Yeah,
I think
I'm going to be fine.
At this time, we don't have any more questions for you.
Okay.
You've helped us out a lot. You've given us some things to work with.
Yeah.
I've been working since about 4:45 last night.
Oh,
so
God, you're exhausted.
This is what we do. So,
I know it is.
We're going to keep plugging away at this, and hopefully the best case scenario comes out.
I know.
Okay.
You know, it's so hard for me to think that I have a son that's wanted for something like this. You know,
he's an adult. He's been an adult for a long time, Mr. Taylor.
I know, and I keep telling myself, you know, that once he left the house, I had no way of stopping what he did.
Look at your daughter.
Yeah.
You raised her, right?
Yeah. When he went into the service, he didn't have any outlook ahead of him, you know. And then he went in the service, and he really wanted to be in there. You know, that was one of the things that just astounded me, that he wanted to go in. He enlisted, and we thought that.
That's an honorable thing to do.
Yes,
you know?
yes. And then when he came out, he went right to work, and so we thought everything was cool.
Right.
They just don't have a flashing light on them, do they? That says, I'm turning. You know, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. is to sit and talk about my son like this. But I wish to God that all these people whose sons are out killing other people would do it.
They could take a lesson from you. They really could.
Well, I hope everyone thinks that.
I think anyone with the right mind and a moral conscience and people that want to do the right thing, I think everybody will think that, sir.
Yeah, I hope so.
Investigators believe that there is limited time to capture the well-armed killer, as he may go off the grid, leaving no way to track him down. While further researching Chris's vehicle, they discovered that he financed it from a local dealer. Detectives contacted the dealer, who confirmed that the vehicle had GPS and that they were able to track it. The dealer informed police that the vehicle was on Interstate 90 in Box Elder, South Dakota. Believing Chris is on the run, likely headed to the Rocky Mountains, detectives notify South Dakota State law enforcement. Investigators continuously monitored the vehicle's location and determined it was now stationary. The vehicle was at the La Quinta Hotel in Rapid City, South Dakota. Investigators in Independence, Missouri, notified the Rapid City Police Department. The local department deployed their SWAT team to the hotel. They found a white Toyota Sequoia parked in the lot, and Christopher Taylor had registered a room under his name. A sniper was put into position to watch Chris's room window. Rapid City SWAT team officers went to rooms near Chris's and quietly asked the other guests to leave. Fearing that there would be a last stand shootout, Rapid City Police devised a plan to get Chris out of his room. The plan is to stage a car crash by ramming Chris's vehicle. They instructed the front desk to call his room and inform him of an accident in the parking lot. After looking outside through his room window, Chris then exited his room unarmed and was taken into custody. Police seized the Sequoia, and inside the vehicle, there were multiple firearms and thousands of rounds of ammunition. Police book Christopher Taylor at the Rapid City Jail pending extradition to Missouri. With the extradition process likely to take upwards of a few weeks, Rapid City Police investigators bring Chris to the station for an interview.
Get that moved up? Doing better?
No, it's just thick.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's fine.
I didn't realize they had that much weight that they would sit there and... Just the downward pressure of them.
Yeah.
Other than that, they treating you okay over there? Everything going good over there?
Yeah, really nice.
Good. Good deal. Well, let me make sure. Like I said, my name is Detective Tolman. Need to get your information. Christopher, or you go by Chris or Christopher?
Chris.
Chris. Legal name's Christopher, but...
Yeah.
Like I said, my name is Detective Tolman. This is Investigator Andrews. It's with the Sheriff's Department. Like I said earlier, down there in the cell, we kind of want to talk to you and get your side of the story here. We got contacted by a different agency, obviously, and asked if we could try to make contact with you, and that's how, we located you at the motel. So we want to talk to you a little bit about that. Are you originally from Missouri?
Yes.
Okay, born and raised there?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to high school, college, or?
High school.
High school, any college?
A little bit. You didn't finish it, though.
Didn't finish it? What college did you go to?
Longview Community.
Just a small community college. What were you going to school for?
Graphic design.
What kind of work did you do?
Construction.
Like residential stuff or commercial stuff? Or?
Yeah, residential remodel.
Gotcha. Since you're obviously in custody, you're sitting there in the handcuffs, you're not free to take off and leave. We have to read you Miranda. Okay, that's part of for what we have to do when you're in custody. Okay, I'll read you through these, and at the end we'll see if we can talk to you about what happened. Right. You have the continuing right to remain silent and to stop questioning at any time. Anything you say can be used as evidence against you. And you have the continuing right to consult with and have the presence of an attorney. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I see you shaking your head up and down. Yes, you understand all those rights?
Yes.
Okay. Keeping those rights in mind, do you wish to waive them and speak to us now?
I don't waive my rights, but I will speak to you.
Okay. You know why we're here. what we're wanting to probably talk about. And we've got, especially us, we've got one side of the story that was given to us from law enforcement in Missouri. And kind of just a synopsis of what they did as far as their investigation and what they found out. And we want to see, basically your side of the story and see where it, fits in with their investigation. You seem like a pretty honest guy to me so far. I'm hoping we can have just a good open discussion and kind of iron out all the details. The incident that we're investigating, obviously, was a gal getting shot. And that happened on the 16th, so that would have been Sunday evening. I'd like to go back to, say, Sunday morning. If you can recall back, Sunday morning, and kind of give us a rundown of what you did that day leading up to, this incident happening. And I'll just kind of leave it open to you to just kind of fill us in what your day was like.
Drove into Lee Summit to watch the Chiefs game. Watched the Chiefs game. Left there at 6:15. Left there, went straight to the grocery store, Hy-Vee and Nolan and Independence. Bought groceries. Went home. Went to the gas station to get some water. And went back home. Left again. Heading north on Sterling. And I was sitting at the light at 23rd Street in Sterling. There's a vehicle in front of me. Come from one to the right. We started, the light turned green, we were going up the hill. And the car in front of me was going slow. And I was just sitting there waiting for them to speed up, but they didn't, so I waited for somebody to clear off to the side, and I sped up and went around them to get up to the speed limit. And right then, the van starts speeding up next to me and yelling at me, and I rolled out the window, and she says, "My kids are in the car." And I said, "Okay, well, you can at least do the speed limit." And I started to speed up. Well, they sped up too, and whoever was in the passenger seat threw something at the car. And with my training and everything, it was almost like reacting to contact. And it was instantaneous. It didn't even think, it just happened. And I don't know why, but it was a negligent discharge without looking. So I fully missed making the shot, but God knows I didn't mean it to happen.
What happened after that?
I freaked the out. I couldn't, it was like, I couldn't believe what had happened. I panicked. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? So I didn't know what to do. I just hit the gas. I turned, I went back home, and I sat there. I'm like, stewing over this, and I didn't know what the hell to do. I was so freaking scared. And I sat there. I didn't know what had happened. All I knew is that I had freaking negligently discharged my freaking firearm in the city limits. So I went home. I heard on the radio that someone was shot and killed, and I freaked out. I couldn't believe it. So I panicked. I started packing up all my stuff. Originally I was packing it just to freaking get it out. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So I put everything in the car and I just started driving. And here we are.
You appear to be a guy that tries to do right.
Never done anything
Caring
wrong.
person. And I don't think you meant to kill somebody here.
I never meant to hurt anybody at all.
And I can obviously tell you're really remorseful about the chain of events and what happened.
Hey Chris, when you mentioned training, what's your background?
The Army.
Army time? What'd you do there?
I just went through basic and AIT, but I had to get out for a financial hardship separation.
Okay.
No, just training wise, just like anything else, it's just tactical training. It's just like the police do, they react to contact. If maybe I didn't do it correctly, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but it was just natural.
Yeah, it happened fast.
But
let me ask you a question. I'm guessing you're talking with a handgun, was it?
Yes.
What kind of handgun?
A Smith & Wesson M&P 40 caliber.
40 cal?
Full size units.
4 1/4 barrel.
So typically, it would be an object in your car for protection, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a daily carry.
Okay. So do you carry it on your person or in the vehicle or either?
In the vehicle.
Okay. So like in that particular day, where would it usually be kept?
Right next to me, between the seat and the center console.
So not in it, but kind of in that crevice there. Yeah.
Is it holstered up or is
holstered?
Yeah. Okay, so there's a holster there for it.
You recognize anybody? Wasn't anybody you knew or had run into or?
No.
And you mentioned an object being thrown. Can you remember any details about that?
It had water or something in it.
Okay.
But it was big, whatever it was. I mean, but
bigger than this?
Yeah. Because when it hit the side of the car, and I instantly just reacted to it. And
did you know it was a water jug hitting your car, or did it?
It happened like that.
Okay.
Like I said, it was reactive contact, and it was just trained response, muscle memory.
You told him you have the gun in a holster between your seat and your console. At what point did that gun come out of the? Because you couldn't have had a negligent discharge with it in the holster, correct?
No.
So it definitely came out of the holster. When did it come out? I'm trying to get a good definition of negligent discharge.
I'm driving forward and something comes and hits the car. I always have my hand right there.
It's like we do.
And as soon as it's like that,
okay,
out the window.
Okay. So when I say negligent discharge, when you say that to us, that's a guy in the range who's not paying attention to his gun and has his finger on the trigger and puts one into the ground or into the ceiling or something like this. You're saying your reaction because of the contact was pull the gun, brought it over this direction, and boom, it went off.
No,
it wasn't like an...
It wasn't an intention. That's why I say it was a negligent discharge. I didn't pull the trigger on purpose.
Okay, you brought the gun out of the holster though, right? And swung it this direction. And I'm just guessing by your body positioning, did you even acquire a sight picture?
No.
Anything like that?
I didn't.
Was the gun in one hand or both hands?
One hand. Steering wheel. Like that.
Up over the top or under the steering?
Oh, I can't do it, but...
Yeah. Over the top. Okay. Was your window down?
Yes.
Because you guys had exchanged some words. Were you meaning to display this gun to somebody? Like they're exchanging words or something like that? You don't know what they're to the point they're throwing stuff at you? Is display this gun to back them off?
Like I said, it was just reaction It wasn't muscle memory. It wasn't anything other than that. That's what it was.
Okay. Were you in front of that vehicle, right next to the vehicle?
I was. Okay.
Here's, we got a couple cell phone vehicles. This is driving this way. This is her vehicle. This is yours.
Okay, so here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Say this is another vehicle. Okay?
We won't use this as the water bottle.
Yeah. So I'm here. That's the vehicle. I come around. I speed up, and I'm going past her. Okay, so now we're here. Okay, so I've already gone. It speeds up. Comes up next to me and starts yelling at me. I roll down the window. She says, blah, 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 my kids are in the car. And I said, well, you can at least go the speed limit. And I take off again. Well, then they speed up. Come up next to me and something hits the side of the car. And then it's automatic.
Okay. So based on the vehicle positioning, I'm assuming this girl was driving the car that you hit.
Hmm?
And how do you think you went through their side window or their front windshield?
No.
Just physics. How do you think it would?
Okay, so comes up and throws it. I accelerate at the same time to get away, and I'm coming around like that. That's all it was.
Do you shoot your handgun quite a bit? You shoot quite a bit? Right. You ever had a negligent discharge before?
No.
Practicing, training, anything like that? Okay. What do you do to prevent that? You know, what's the kind of the key firearm rule to prevent that?
Keep a finger off the trigger.
Finger off the trigger. Finger to register. In your time with the Army, did you ever have any combat experience, anything like that? Okay. How do you think your finger got onto the trigger?
Just do it. I don't know, just bring it around.
Okay.
I don't know. It was an accident.
Okay. And you panicked after that?
To say the least.
Did it startle you when that thing went off in the car?
Yeah.
Did you have to clean the car out after this? You know, you went home, cleaned the house up. Did you clean out your car, stuff like that?
No.
Did you think the shell casing's probably inside your car then?
No, the handgun was outside the window.
The handgun was outside the window. Okay. You didn't feel it kind of, that's going to eject to your right, but it missed the window, huh? Didn't come back inside of your car? Like if your hand's out here like that, some of them would direct far to the rear.
The window was down from when I exchanged words.
Okay. What did you do with the gun?
It's gone.
It's gone?
I tossed it in the river.
Okay. Where in the river? You understand that's very important to find out.
I know. That was it's in the state.
In Missouri?
No.
Or South Dakota?
In South Dakota.
Did you say river like Big River?
Yes, the Missouri River.
Oh.
And the reason I tossed it was because I couldn't stand the thought of having a freaking weapon in my possession that took somebody's life.
Right side, left side of the bridge? As you're crossing, do you remember?
I went across the bridge and came back. So it's on if you're coming from town, it's on the left side. The right side if you're heading into town.
Do you happen to recall what you were wearing the night that this happened?
Exactly what I was wearing.
Exactly what you were wearing. Yeah, I gotta realize it was only Sunday evening, right, that this happened. You got here, you recall what time you got here?
Into town.
Into Rapid City.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, so not even 24 hours later. So yeah. How long do you think you were at your place before you headed out?
No. I left there at 7 a.m. So.
Stayed at your house. Did you sleep at night at all, or no?
No, I could sleep.
Yeah. You ever have any other confrontations with people like this?
Never.
Never?
Never even been in a fight.
Is there any other things going on in your life that's kind of been rough on you? Your dad was worried about you.
Everything's good. That's the problem. You know what? Everything was good in my life. You know what's worse? The family of that girl that I killed. How the f*** am I gonna live with that, man? So I thought that when I joined the Army that I would be able to do the job. And it's probably a damn good thing that I didn't. That I had to get out. I don't know how anybody could handle doing this. I mean, granted that in war it's justified, but what I did, I was not.
Did you tell anybody else about what happened?
Nobody
that you can confide in?
No. I just freaking panicked and the whole time I was driving out here, all I could think about was going back and turning myself in. Because there's no way you can run from that shit. I don't even know why I tried.
Your dad had went to your apartment, wherever you were staying, after the detectives down there went and visited with him, and he'd seen the news, and he'd seen a picture of your vehicle that they'd got from a convenience store or whatever, and he was concerned about, that it was possibly you because you weren't answering your phone. Were you just avoiding calls, or did you completely take your battery out?
No, my phone was on the whole time, but when I left, I just took the battery out.
Well, what did you get the AR for?
I've had it for a long, long time.
Okay. Your dad thought it had been taken out of the apartment. Did you take it when you loaded up to leave, or was it already in your car?
I took anything that was worth a lot of value to me that I just loaded it up and just left.
Were you thinking this stuff could be used for living off the land or something, or is this something that's got a value to it that you can trade in, keep it going?
Yeah.
Or this is my value. This is my
value.
It's my stuff.
Yeah, that's my stuff. It's what I love the outdoors. I love. It's who I am, and I didn't want to leave it behind.
I think your honesty in this, and whether there's obviously going to be some debate whether it's believed that this was negligent, like you got a gun out of a holster up here and pulled the trigger, if that was an accident, or if you meant to crack a round off, but no way in the world did I think I'd hit a car, let alone hit somebody. That's a 1 in 1,000 shot. I think if you're trying to make it, that's going to be debatable. But your honesty, this is a tough thing to be honest about. It's a tough thing for you to talk about. But the evidence that they have, the witnesses, the things like that, the actual fact of you're in this car, they're in that car, you ended up pointing a gun over and you shot at that stuff, there's all the evidence that backs that. Okay. Your honesty is essentially the biggest tool on your behalf here. And I can tell you're remorseful about what happened. I believe you didn't mean whatever happened with a gun to hit somebody, let alone kill somebody.
You asked a question a while ago, how you're going to be able to live with this. I think you need to understand that you're taking those steps to start that now.
No.
In being honest, you're at least facing it.
No.
Well, then trust me then. You may not think so.
I can't ever live with that. I just think about what it was my family with me.
Understand.
That.
And I'm not going to sit here and make some stupid statement like, I understand where you're
Well, I
coming from.
can't ever get over it then. Maybe in a line of duty it's different. Maybe you're protecting your life against a real threat. But this was just freaking reflex. It was muscle. I mean, I was close behind her because she was going so slow. But
right. But when you came around her, you guys were in a pretty average distance.
Yeah. I mean, I got over to the lane completely before I started accelerating forward.
Okay. And nothing exchanged between you two until she caught up that time.
Yeah.
Okay. And did she motion or gesture or give indications that made you feel threatened at any point, or?
No.
Okay.
Just listening to you talk about firearms and stuff like that. You read a lot of firearms magazines, watch any shows like that. You use some terminology that either tells me that you've got the training or you at least got an interest in it.
I have knowledge of it. I mean, like I say, it's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy firearms.
We probably won't have the opportunity to talk to you again. I don't know. I guess we could. If there were some follow-up questions that we had for you. First step of any possibility of it is being honest. Boy, if you were to just hash this down and deny it, blame it away, you wouldn't have any chance.
God will never forgive me.
He does. He forgives.
Well, murder is an unforgivable sin. Yes, it is.
We may or may not cross paths again, but if you got some questions, if you want to talk to us again, you can sure ask. Just let the COs know over there. Do you kind of know the process, what's going to happen from here for you as far as
here's what I
getting back to Missouri?
Yeah, I know.
Anything else, Chris, you think we ought to know? I mean, it's an opportunity. It's a complex situation. We get that.
I told you everything.
Okay. We'll make our way back down there. Obviously, as we dig further into this stuff, communicate back and forth with the law enforcement back there in Missouri, we end up with more questions and stuff like that we want to ask you. This is just more little details and not major things. I mean, we really talked about the bulk of what we needed to yesterday. Since you're still in custody, it's a different day. We've taken you back. We got to advise you of your rights again. Just a formality. You want to talk to us without an attorney?
I will.
Okay.
I'm going to need character witnesses, obviously, when this goes to court. And you can ask anybody that knows me that I'm the laid back, just easygoing. I'll do anything for anybody. I'm not a crazy survivalist prepper. That's not who I am. But I do prepare.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't define yourself as somebody that gets angry quickly over events?
I guess it would depend. I mean,
on what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't. But yeah, it really just depends. I mean,
so these character witnesses, would they describe Chris as hot-headed?
No.
Okay.
Very calm, relaxed. I mean, occasionally at work, I get freaking mad. Like, something didn't go right. Yeah, I get mad. I mean, I'll cuss, but I don't act out in violence or anything like that.
something that the detectives back in Missouri were kind of curious about. They got a couple things they're curious about. I think we kind of got an idea of what you had done, but did you shave? You had more facial hair. Did you have a full-on beard or just a good...
Stubble.
Just stubble. Did you shave that before you headed back this way, or...
Right before I left to come up here.
You were at your house? That's what we thought, because that stuff was in your car, and there was no evidence in the motel room. After the shooting incident, when you pulled the gun up, the gun went off, what was your mind frame and your thoughts immediately right thereafter?
I'll go from as it's happening. Like I mentioned, it felt just like a reaction, like muscle memory. Whatever was thrown at my vehicle startled me enough. I pressed on the gas and automatically just went like that. And as my hand came around, of course I can't put my arm where I can with these cuffs on, and I'm just looking forward, and another finger just, it wasn't intentional, but okay, so getting into your question though, it's like it was just happening, and like that, I didn't even freaking know what I was doing. It happened so fast. And right after, I was just freaked out. I said to myself, my God, what the f*** did you just do? What the f*** did you just do?
Did you think that you hit that car, or think that you hit a person, or was it, oh shit, the gun just went off?
Oh shit, the gun just went off.
Okay. Did you see anything that would lead you to believe that I hit that car, or I was close to that car, or I hit a person?
I wasn't looking. I just driving. Freaking.
So you had no clue. At that point, the gun goes off. You had no clue where that bullet went.
No.
No clue. When you got home, did you see? You're driving away. And in the rear view mirror, did you see that car do anything that led you to believe it? Oh, crap, I wonder if I hit it. Or
I saw him pull over.
How far did it go before it pulled over?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, the whole time when that happened was just like almost instantaneous in my mind.
Now, I don't know how to get to Rapid City from Missouri. What's the route you took when you said you left at 7 yesterday morning?
Maybe a little after 7. I don't know what time it was.
What way did you come to Rapid City?
29 to 90.
And then over. Okay. Stop at any convenience stores, anything like that? Gas, stuff like that. You said when you fired that shot, it was more of a holy crap. The gun went off. Didn't know if you hit the car. Didn't know anything about it. When, I think you touched on this yesterday, but I want to get more clarification. When did you learn that you had hit the car, more so hit a person? And
So whenever I got home, I sat around, I don't know how long I was panicking, just freaking out, not knowing what to do. I got on my phone and looked at the news, and that's when I saw the shooting in Independence. And I really started to freak out, but I wasn't sure if anybody had died. This is shooting. And then now I'm just getting my stuff together. I guess I know that I'm either gonna freaking go to jail or what, but I start packing up all my clothes and everything that, it's not my place. It's a rental place, and I can't leave this place this way. I can't leave that burden to my dad or anything like that to come and try to take care of it. And then at 7 o'clock in the morning, or slightly there before, whatever, my alarm clock went off for work, and the announcement came over the radio that someone had died in that shooting. That's when I lost it.
You were already kind of in panic mode. I got to get out of here. I got to, before you even knew that it hit anybody, or...
Yeah.
Okay.
how do you try to explain to somebody what you're feeling when they've never gone through the same thing? How do you try to convey those feelings, or how anybody feels? We're all different.
Yeah.
But to try to explain my mindset is, it's like trying to explain how colors look to a colorblind person. And they can hear what you're saying, but they're not really going to understand how you feel or what you think. The prosecution is going to use any type of little tiny thing anywhere in my past or anything to try to paint me as someone that I'm not. Like, that's why we were talking about the whole survival thing, being labeled as a crazy prepper or something like that. That's what they're going to do to me. And that's not who I am.
Know, too, that your defense is going to have access to all the same stuff. Everything that we have.
But at the same time, when stuff gets put out in the media, it becomes impossible for a fair trial.
Yeah. We deal with that here, too. Facebook. It's one of our greatest tools, but it's one of our biggest enemies, because when something bad happens with a law enforcement officer, it goes out and it's the gospel truth.
Yeah.
And we're labeled this, we're labeled that. Heck, you see firsthand down in Missouri what's going on. Mm-hmm. We know there's problems. There's a lot of good cops, but we're dealing with stuff that's happened down there. It's the same thing.
It can happen to anybody.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what we're looking for the passcode for the phone for. It's a quicker, easier way to just access it. They don't have to hook it up and try to.
Can I wait on that for my lawyer?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that'll be down the road.
It's just a question that come up, when we were talking over our notes. So.
Okay. Well, I will grant them access when my lawyer.
They'll probably still go ahead and work on getting a search warrant, and if there's some certain phones they might be able to get access to without the passcode. I don't know.
They're going to force it. I mean.
Oh, they'll even. I'm trying to think we have.
Well, I don't want to make this difficult. I just want to protect myself.
That's fine. No, that's perfectly fine. Even if you said, "Hey, this is my passcode, right here. This is how you're going to get into it." They're still going to go write the search warrant, so a judge looks at it and says, "Yeah, it's reasonable. You guys got probable cause to want to check that phone out," and so then they would just have a passcode at that point. That's the reason. But you can.
No, I mean,
you can talk to them down there about it.
I don't want to, because I've been open about everything else. It's just digital technology is like it's a double-edged sword, like anything. Mm-hmm. And I'm not hiding anything, and I don't want anybody to think that I am. So, if it helps me out more to give it right now, I'll do it. But I would still like to wait.
That's cool.
Until
I think you're very reasonable to do that. And we get this, in our world, things like Google, we were sitting here talking about this earlier on something else, but we love Google, but as a private citizen, you hate it.
It's big, brother.
Like you said, double-edged. I mean, it's good, but it's not good. Mm-hmm. So, we get it. So,
I would say right here was the point I threw it. I don't know, probably traveling 35 miles an hour. I don't know what the speed limit was on that bridge. Having that thing in my possession after what I did with that, I know it's freaking, now I know that it's attempting to destroy evidence, but at the time, in my mindset, that wasn't the purpose.
Yeah.
That it was to try to rid myself of something.
That's reasonable, because you had plenty of opportunity before getting to this point.
I would say there, and depending on river current, you could imagine maybe 40 meters search.
And the magazine was still in it?
No. The magazine is in the ammo can.
Okay, it's one of those magazines.
Any chance that you guys can be Whenever I have to go down there and do all this stuff, is there any chance you guys could be in, contact and explaining everything that we've talked about?
You mean as far as court proceedings and stuff like that?
Yeah.
We both discussed, there's no doubt at some point we're going to get subpoenaed to come down to Independence, Missouri to testify in court. I've told you all along that you've been honest, and I appreciate that. I don't think you're some bad, hardened criminal that's, think something bad happened, and there's nobody can deny that. Even yourself, you don't deny that. So yeah, we'll end up being there, and we'll be honest about our conversations. Okay. All right. We'll get you back down here.
Roughly 18 months after his arrest, Chris stands trial for the murder of Whitney Gray. The prosecution and Whitney's family were seeking the maximum sentence of life without parole. The defense argues that Chris panicked after Whitney's niece threw a cup at his vehicle and that muscle memory developed through military training caused him to pull the trigger. The jury sided with the defense and convicted Christopher Taylor of involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action. 2 months later, on August 24, 2018, a judge sentenced him to 17 years in prison. Whitney's brother Dylan said the result wasn't fair and he couldn't understand how the jury decided. He said, "We get together for Whitney's birthday and let the kids write messages on balloons and send them off to her. Whitney's father, Sean, said she loved her kids with everything she had. Whitney's stepmother shared that her boys ask when their mommy will return and see them." For more videos of cases never seen on YouTube, click one of the videos on screen now or the links in the pinned comment. Goodbye for now.